Hi, I'm Amanda, dietitian at the Lung Health Institute, and today's Wellness Wednesday topic is dining out. So if you haven't checked out the blog yet, don't forget to do so after you watch this video. It's going to give you two very helpful tips of how to dine out safely when you have a lung condition. I'm going to focus today, this video, on more of tip 2, because tip 2 talks about your food choice when you dine out. And that's what I really want to go more into detail, like what food you should be worried about. What tips are going to best help you make the choices that are going to support your lung health. And then considerations that everyone should take into, consideration when you have a lung condition. So let's talk about the foods that you want to avoid. So when you're dining out, one of the biggest concerns that we have is hidden sugar, because it's pretty much going to be in everything that you eat. Why? Because sugar makes food taste good. So the restaurants are going to use that so that you think their food is really good and you want to come back and eat more and more of it. Now, hidden sugar is typically going to be found in things like sauces or in seasoning blends. So those are the things you're going to want to worry about, like sausage, dressings, anything that's going to be added to the food. But also the seasoning blends. So if there's something that has a barbecue rub on it or any kind of, proprietary or special flavorings, that may likely have some hidden sugar. Another thing that you're going to commonly encounter in restaurants are going to be your inflammatory oils. So that's going to be things like soybean oil, peanut oil, vegetable oil. So that's going to be found in your fried foods. Obviously, they're going to be fried in these oils, but it's also going to be hidden into sauces and dressings. Salad dressing is a big culprit of inflammatory oils. So those are things you want to kind of look out for when you're dining out. So let's look at some tips that you can avoid a lot of these inflammation-causing foods. So the very first tip is just to keep it simple. So when you're going out to eat, things like steamed vegetables or a salad with lots of leafy greens and veggies. Now with the salad, we mentioned those dressings, so ask for olive oil and vinegar instead of your typical dressing. But simple things like the veggies and the salads, or also baked, broiled, or grilled meats, like whole pieces of meat. So it can be beef, it can be chicken, it can be fish, but you want to use simple cooking methods because then you have better control of the foods that you're eating. So definitely keep it simple. I'll give you a couple examples. If you're at a steakhouse, then you can get a sirloin with some steamed broccoli. That would be a great meal out. So you could also do something like a grilled chicken salad. So you get all the leafy greens, you get the veggies, you get some grilled chicken on top, and then, as I mentioned before, adding the olive oil and the vinegar to kind of round out that meal. So those are some great ways to keep it simple, and usually those options are available at most of the restaurants you may find yourself dining out in. Say no thank you. So by no thank you, I mean to those freebies. So the things like the free bread at the beginning of the meal, the chips at the beginning of the meal if you go out to a Mexican place or something like that. And the reason why you say no to those, not necessarily because they're going to have your sugar and your inflammatory oils, but a lot of times we tend to fill up on those and then we end up overeating at that meal. And if you're overeating and stressing your system, that's going to make it difficult for you to breathe as well. And it's going to take away from some of the nutrient-dense foods that you want to eat, the things like the veggies and the meats. So say no to those freebies. That's really going to help you out when you're dining out. And then ask for what you want. A lot of people have problems with asking for what they want, but I'll tell you, restaurants are more and more used to this, and frankly, you're spending money there, so you should be able to ask for things that you want. Now, I don't mean ask for lobster if you're at a breakfast place, but I do mean if you want oil and vinegar instead of dressing on your salad, then ask for it. If you want to order extra vegetables instead of the potatoes, ask for it. It's okay to do so. So don't be shy to ask for what you want. It's really going to help improve your overall experience at the restaurant. Now there's considerations. I always like to give considerations in our talks. Frequency is the first one. And by frequency, I mean, how often are you dining out? So if you're going to a restaurant once every month, it's just not something you do very often. You don't have to worry as much about some of the things we just talked about, because your overall nutrition in the course of the month is not going to be impacted as much by these things. If you're dining out multiple times in the week or even daily, as some of the patients I work with are, that becomes more important for you to really pay attention and really take charge of where you're eating, what you're eating, how much you're eating, particularly when you're dining out. So frequency is a major consideration that I hope you factor in. The purpose. Okay, a lot of us, especially if you've read the blog, we go out to eat because we want to be social. We want to have that experience. You know, we want to go out, enjoy time with family and friends without having to cook or clean or do all of that. So keep that in mind. The purpose of you going to the restaurant is to spend time with your family and friends and to have a good time. So it's not necessarily to eat the best, most delicious food loaded up with sugars and oils and all those inflammatory things. Now, if your purpose is, I'm going to this restaurant to get this particular dish because it is my favorite dish in the whole world and I'm only do it a few times a year, then by all means, enjoy that dish. But keep in mind your consideration why you're there, because a lot of times it is just to take a load off of the work you have to do at home and enjoy that time with family and friends. So eating out is a great experience. It's a lot of fun. We all enjoy doing it. It's all a part of life. So I hope you take these considerations, these tips, take them to heart and use them to help you feel better, improve your overall health, and breathe easier every day. As always, if you have questions, please post them in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, check out today's blog, and we'll see you next week. Bye.